Whip, womp, womp.
Ah, Chris plays a thing, clip show. Hey Chris, remember that time we talked about fruit for half an hour?
No.
Let's reminisce.
I don't remember. And neither
Chris,
do you.
edit in a clip from that episode here. It's the holiday season, it's rife for clip shows.
I was there.
The whole writing staff are off, Chris, you know this. Our writing team are on holiday at the moment.
Yeah.
They've given us a little bit of patter and banter, but after a while we're going to start having to reuse some old material.
They wrote the wrestling bit and that's it. All the rest of it is all off the cuff.
Do you remember, like, a year ago when we were talking about Nazis? And isn't it a good thing that our whole situation has just really neatly resolved itself?
It's completely blown over.
Isn't that great?
There's no Nazis. Not in America, not in the White House, not in Britain, not all over the internet. Not being massively publicly emboldened by increasing indifference of the current powers to disavow them. None of those things are happening.
It's just, this is the best reality and timeline that we live in right now.
It is absolutely the best reality if you are a member of the Superior Iron Race. But for every other person in the world who is non-white and a woman, or not a man, which isn't the same thing, you're fucked! World is boned. Hopefully, global warming will kill us soon.
Yeah.
Read into the sun.
No, but Chris, didn't you know that this is the coldest year America has ever seen, therefore global warming is a lie?
That tweet made me very angry. As someone who's seen a science... how much do I want to get into my rage right now? Not enough, not enough.
Don't forget, Chris, that the words evidence-based and science-based are banned.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that even.
We can't use such things, and we cannot use transgender, we must use other terms, such as...
slurs, probably.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
The F word. The one that rhymes with the thing that you use to carry things.
Oh, that's not really a slur for trans people, but sure.
People would probably use it.
Oh, I'm sure they would, because they're
people.
awful and they don't understand the words that they're saying.
I think they understand fully the words that they're saying. They're just attempting to make them worse than they are.
Yeah.
They're filled with hatred. I want to know. Anyway, how about that Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
You know who's an inferior race? The orcs?
Yep, they sure are just genetically worse than men.
Imagine if in Star Wars the Gungans had been the equivalent of the orcs. And just everyone had spent the whole film being like, wow, the Gungans sure are genetically inferior to us.
That would make the caricature even worse.
What if they called Watto Duo?
I mean...
Or Arabo, depending on which one he's supposed to be.
I think it's the Jewish thing with the money.
There seem to be
the
aspects
slavery.
of Arabic things, though. Who could say?
Yeah. But you know, it's still better than The Last Jedi.
No. Last Jedi was good.
Yeah. Ah, people are trash.
Yeah. In particular, that one's so weird because everyone was like, I don't like The Last Jedi because it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie.
But also The Force Awakens felt too much like a Star Wars movie. I'm a literal man-child and I can't be pleased by anything.
Hello, I understand filmmaking, and I was confused when the screen went silent for 10 whole seconds. I thought that the equipment had broken. Do you know how many cinemas had to put up signs telling people that it was an intentional directing thing because they were in fucking space?
But don't you know, Chris, everyone is a movie expert now because of things like cinema sins.
Jeez. I think you should swap out... Actually, no. Wait.
We need Elagost.
Yes, we do. I'm gonna keep Berethor so we can do buffs.
Yep.
Swap out Hadley or Idley.
How do you swap again?
L1.
L1. There you go. Do some creature brain. I feel like I would be offended as a troll if I knew that creature bane worked against me. Like, if I was a troll, I would put myself on a higher echelon than, say, a warg. Like, they seem to have, if not sentience, at least some semblance of intelligence.
They seem to have the roughly equivalent, or possibly slightly more equivalent intelligence than apes.
Yeah. And especially
So,
like
do we deem them as creatures? Yes, we do.
well, I mean, they use tools though. I guess some apes use tools.
Actually, okay, I would say the trolls are probably smarter than apes in that they are capable of feeling hate.
And following orders in some way, like...
Yeah. Like the ones that open the black gates.
Yeah, and you've got like Olokai, which I don't know how that whole situation happens.
Well, I haven't got a fucking clue.
It's probably some shitty crossbreeding rapery like the orcs, but let's not get into that.
An Orokai wanked into an orc pigeon.
Oh, I've got anything. So, Chris. What would you say is the...
What would you say if I told you you could walk away right now with a brand new washer and dryer? If you answer this simple question.
What would you say is the more egregious canon breaking? Slight spoilers for Shadow of War, I guess?
Okay.
But one of the ring wraiths is Isildur.
I do fucking hate that.
Or the climax of this very game, wherein the party climbs to the top of Barad-dûr and takes on the Eye of Sauron in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, I feel like the Isildur one is more egregious, because in this game it's like demonstrably bullshit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like they sort of presented as, you've beaten Purple Fields, here's the final boss, fucking it's Sauron, we have nowhere else to go from here, so... But in Shadow of War they're like, yeah, one of the ring wraiths was Isildur, that was true the whole time, this is a real fact that doesn't shit all over the mythos.
It's like the Shelob thing is obviously bullshit, but doesn't directly contradict anything. It never says in the text that she can't turn into a sexy lady.
It's just heavily implied. There's no point.
Yeah, there's just kind of a logical leap to assume that she would be able to.
What if in the film, instead of being a
don't overwrite your save.
Yes, thank you. What if in the film version she had also been sexy lady, and in the film version she had fucked Frodo and Sam? What if?
Did she not?
Oh. Damn, son.
I mean, she didn't.
Oh. Oh, you're right. She didn't.
Oh,
shit,
no.
we can't look at that.
Copyright.
Reasons.
New line will be up our ass like George Lucas on...
Keep going.
Anything that sells merchandise.
You actually really brought it home. That was good. All I had in my head was George Lucas on a sandwich, and he's not known for that.
Sandwich.
He's not a notable sandwich eater.
Well, that's why the original line from New Hope was, but Uncle Ben, was his name Uncle Ben? No, Uncle Owen. Uncle Owen!
Why can't you be Uncle Ben like the rice? I'm George Lucas and I'm very hungry. What we were thinking of for Star Wars in New Hope was that maybe, what if Ben Kenobi had been played by some sort of black caricature with a weird frog face? His name is Jam Jam. And instead of being a wise mentor, what he is basically a gollywog.
Oh god. No, what I was going to say was, Uncle Owen! I wanted to go to Tashi Station and eat some sandwiches!
That was slightly different to what I had in mind.
Yeah, I like the idea that it's Uncle Ben though, and him and Peter Parker are fucking cousins.
No, the Uncle Ben from the rice packet.
Oh, just that Uncle Ben, okay.
Yeah. What if the prequel trilogy had been good?
I often think about how it would have been good, because I honestly think, in the same way that the Silmarillion has the bones of a good story, the actual plot, at the face of it, of the prequel trilogy, is good.
Yeah.
It's just that the execution is about as bad as it could have been.
It's meandering and all over the place. Yeah, no, I agree. Particularly after having read several essays of people being like, the prequel trilogy's not that bad because this, and this. Here's a thing that could have easily tweaked a few lines and then had this really important and interesting message come across. Like, oh wow, that would have been cool. Yeah. What if they had done more with the idea that the Jedi Order is fucking stupid?
Yeah.
Like they did in
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
But they didn't. All they did was say, Anakin was angry. So what we were thinking of is that he would go to the Sand People village and kill them because he was so angry, and then he would tell Padme, and then she would somehow find that attractive.
Yeah, or that part where he says there should just be a dictator and we don't need government, and Padme's like, I can't not fuck him.
And nobody raises an eyebrow being like, safeguarding. Gets so clearly radicalized by Pale.
Yeah, and I mean, who can blame him though? Because
the Jedi is so
the Jedi just say, right, you get to be a Jedi because you have an arbitrary number of microbes in your blood. This means you cannot have sex, you cannot feel emotions, you must do exactly what we say. What? No, don't even think about this.
No.
What? Dark side? There is no dark side, and if you think there's a dark side, don't think about the dark side. Why are you thinking about the dark side? Are you evil? Clearly you're evil. Stop being evil.
It could have been such a good allegory for plucking a random idea out of my head, mental illness.
Yeah.
It could have been such an easy and good allegory, and they sort of got halfway there, or they had the bare bones of it and then just didn't do it at all. And I'm glad that The Last Jedi has at least addressed in some regard, like, yeah, the Jedi Order is an order of failure. Their ideas are fucking stupid. They brought together a bunch of children, took them away from their families, tried to teach them to use the Force, and then also told them that emotions were bad.
I mean, God bless fucking Clone Wars, because the last 2 seasons of the show are that. It's the Jedi Order is shit and fails the Padawans, which is why everything just collapses.
Yeah, like in episode 1/2, I suppose kind of 3, but mostly it's in 2. It's the whole thing of Anakin's fall is sort of presented as he's too old to be trained, but that's a failing of the Jedi, of Anakin. But
because
it's constantly
the only
presented as Obi-Wan shouldn't have trained him because he was too old. It's like, no, you shouldn't take children away from their families. This shouldn't be the way that you indoctrinate children to thinking that emotion is weakness.
Yeah, we have no way of training these kids apart from completely eradicating any sense of family and history. They have no identity before they become Jedi.
All we can really do is lobotomize them, and then they can become arbiters of peace.
Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa! Living on the edge of tomorrow.
Chili dogs.